identity shifting, how to shift your identity. I'm going to give you a prime example of my boy Hugo. Shout out to Hugo. We're going to dive into his identity shift, and I think you're going to really, really love this and show you how once you shift identity, money comes to you. Money is effortless once you shift your identity. And that's what we're going to dive into. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you an example that you can see in real time how this can apply to your own life and how you can shift in your business, in your life, and you can make more money in your business literally today, okay? So I'm gonna show you that, and then we're gonna go into how to shift your identity and how to effortlessly make more money in your business. So I'll see you in there right now. Let's go. Yo, so look at this. So this is my boy Hugo, and Hugo, this is the thing. He's getting W's, and he hasn't even paid me yet because we hopped on a call, and I just gave him genuine gems because I want to see him win. I want to see him absolutely transcend into the man he's meant to become. But before he hopped on the call, and when he hopped on the call, he had a lot of limiting beliefs. He was making less than 10K a month, but he had a lot of limiting beliefs because of his surroundings, of his environment. He's been through these other programs. He's investing in himself, which is amazing. But his identity was still at that old self, at that self that was essentially capable or was tolerant of being at that level. So he was tolerating the level he was at, and he'd hit the ceiling. As soon as he would get to the top, he would basically, which was his ceiling in his mind, then he would basically, like a thermostat, we talked about this, he would then oscillate back down. He would make less money. Then he would go to a certain point, and he'd be like, oh shit, I need to make some sales. He would go boom, 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 make some sales, get some appointments, and then go back up to the level, and he would just oscillate between these two extremes. And he wasn't able to break out of this level. And so we shifted some things on the call when we were chatting. And look at this.
I feel that in my brain, I have a lot of garbage from that kind of mindset. You know what I mean? So that's why a lot of times I'm really thankful when I get to a call with like guys like you, just to give me that belief in myself and give me that a little bit of that power, because just with this, Mitch, I can really do a lot. You know what I mean?
That's the biggest thing is practicality, because dude, like a lot of people, even mindset stuff, even it's just not like, okay, what do I do, bro?
Exactly.
For you, I think every day, bro, if you want to get rid of that limiting beliefs, bro, you need to go and you need to clean out the vineyard, bro. The vineyard is in the mind, the subconscious. Rise within you and rise to your brain, right? Feel it almost coming up from your spine into your mind, and separate yourself, and you'll rise above the thoughts of the mind, and you're going to start to see things. You're going to see your subconscious thoughts. You're going to see the images that have been impressed upon your subconscious. And you're going to start to remove those one by one, and you can start to program your mind and rip out the weeds that have been grown in the vineyard. There's no fruit that can bear right now, bro. That's why you're not bearing fruit. That's why you need to clear, and you need to go into the vineyard, and you start planting the seeds, which the seeds go within your subconscious, and they start to sprout and birth that which is within you, bro. The seeds that are actually going to bear fruit in your life, which is the finances, the love of your life. Like all of these things are going to come to you, bro. So it's like you need to tap into it, and the meditation is how you activate and you tap into the source of God. I want you to see in the mind and feel. The feeling is important. Feel as if you already have it. Feel as if you already have the wife and the family you want. You have to see it in the imagination, bro, and feel it. And bro, I don't care what you do. Like, fucking just do it every day. This is spending time with the Lord. Yes, you go to church. Yes, you read this book and all this stuff, but it's directing you within yourself. Yeah. The church is good. I love the church. I've built churches. I've helped it, but it's like, bro, when you realize that you are the church, and that the Spirit of God dwells in you, bro,
it's different. Giving you testimonials will also help you probably grow. So I'm going to take action, bro. We're going to hear from you.
Brother.
Seriously, bro. Thank you so much.
Boom. After our call, I booked 10 strategy sessions, which are sales calls with ideal clients, right? Not mentioning the, and you can see here, full calendar of calls just by shifting this one thing in his mind. right? Anything, I'm going to do this, pray for me, thank you, whatever. I told him what he should do, and boom, he closed the client. Ring the bell, he closed the client. And I said, how much did you close? $1,500 a month. He's like, I also have the rest of the week and next week. He's like, I'm starting to believe that he can hit his goal. Okay. Now, how significant is this? Now, this may not seem significant, closing a $1,500 deal, but that's 3 times what his typical deal was before, because now he believed he was acting as if he could. And so now, with this in mind, let's go into how you can apply this. Now, this was just a simple concept we talked about, and boom, immediately started to book more calls, immediately started to generate some clients, and just by simply shifting the identity. Now, let's talk about this. What do you need to have in place to shift your identity? Well, number one, and we'll put this right here. Number one is you need to define who you want to be, the imagination. You need to find who you want to be and where you want to go in life. Now, you want to use this magical thing, which you have inside of you, which is called your imagination. Now, in your imagination, you want to picture it like this. You want to first, I would say, even define this current character. So you need to define this current character on who you are right now, and define all of the limiting beliefs that are keeping you in the lower essence of life, which is AKA hell, right? This is the lower states of consciousness, and you're in these lower states. You need to understand what these are so you can transcend those, and you can invert those and understand deep within your soul what is keeping you stuck. Okay, for him, it was a lot of the limiting beliefs that he had from childhood and from his parents and his lineage from Africa, and really just being and not believing that he could actually do this, right? And so giving and shifting that in his mind, then taking those limiting beliefs, understanding the current character that, okay, every time that he hits a certain income level, he starts to dip below. And then you oscillate between, if you look at a graph, you oscillate between these two extremes, right? And the summation and the equilibrium point, right, is where you are on an average day of your life. The amount of money you have in your bank account, the revenue you're generating, who you are, how many times you go to the gym, the cleanliness of your home. You are the average of your highs and your lows, okay? This is called your patterns of existence. And so when he got to a certain level, he would understand it. Now he understands that, okay, what happens? You become hyper aware when you're at the top. What do you do when you're at the top? What do you do when you're at the bottom? Usually most people, when they hit a certain level, then they start to fall off the gym, or they start to not go and do the things that got them to this level. And this is why people fall. Okay, so the first piece of this is defining this current character. What are the limiting beliefs? Who is this character? What do they wear? What do they dress? What do they think? What are their limiting beliefs? What are their highs and lows, right? And chart them. Literally just get out a pen, right? And just draw on a piece of paper your highs and your lows, okay? And what are the highs and lows? And what you have to be is absolutely fully consciously aware when you're at the top, when you're rising and you're at the top of your high, so to say. And what you have to do is you have to fight every microfiber of your being to stay consistent with this new belief system and the new habits and routines within your life, so you can break through to this. And once you break through, right, instead of us going down, you're going to break through this quote unquote ceiling. Once you break through, you need to set this as your new low. Now you can't go below this. That's your new low, right? And as you go and rise above, and now this is your old high is now your new low, right? Then when you're at this now new high, you have to do the same thing and fight every microfiber of your being and act in confidence and in belief and action with this new self. And instead of dipping back down, you're going to set this as your new low, and you're going to break through. And then if you keep stacking this, and if we zoom out, what your growth is going to look like is like this, right? And this is the infamous hockey stick like curve, where you're able to essentially grow exponentially in this direction, okay? And this is how you do it. I call this habit stacking. I also call this momentum stacking. And this is an absolute fundamental thing of life. So the first thing is identifying the current character. Then what you need to do is you need to then identify all the limited beliefs, habits, everything, right? We've identified this, right? You keep stacking this and keep optimizing this. Now, in order to even get to that level, what you need to do, and we'll just remove this, is you need to now define, okay, here's the current character, here's all the attributes of them, okay? Now, you use your imagination, you project in your mind, and you start seeing the image of yourself. Maybe you got a wife, whatever. Maybe you got a nice Lambo. Not kidding. Whatever you want, right? You want here. Maybe you're traveling, whatever. But who is this man in this image? Who's the mental movie? Who is the main character that is playing this part? Use your imagination. Most people don't use their imagination. It's one of the most important. It's literally how you create. It's how God created everything. It's through the imagination. It's through the images, through the light that is within you. You're able to project on the screen of your mind. Okay? That's the first thing. Define who you want to be. So you have this current character. Now you can dream of who you want to become. Define it in detail. This is exactly who this person is. You know, you got the big muscles, right? Whatever you want, right? And you got whatever you want, right? You define this new ideal person, right? And you define them in detail. What do they dress like? What do they wear? Who are they? What do they think? You know, what environments? What do they drive? What do they think? Like all these belief systems. This is the soul, the within you. This is what you need to define. And pull out just a piece of paper or a notes app and just write down and use your imagination. Close your eyes and imagine this person. Now, what's going to happen is when you become this 2.0 version of yourself, or 3.0, or whatever version you're on, right? What you need to do is your outer environment is going to show you and trying to convince you that you are not this version of yourself. You know, you can go in there and be like, yeah, I'm the man, I'm making more money, I'm a millionaire, all this stuff, and then you look at your bank account, you got $47 in your bank account, you're like, oh shit, maybe I'm not. Or maybe you go and you talk to you go to a potential prospect and they say no. Okay, well, that's going to be like, oh, well, maybe I'm not good at sales. And then you're going to start to go and you're going to downward spiral. And you're going to go back into your lows and you're going to stay in mediocrity and stay as your current self that's not capable of achieving your dreams. But if you use and you are curating your environment, that's why you curate, and I call it your optimal habitat. What is the habitat? If you look at animals in the world, right? You have all these animals. What is the habitat that is going to help you thrive? What is this person? Who do they need to surround themselves with? What do they need to curate? Now, if you're by yourself, like when I was back in the day, when I was in my parents' basement, I didn't leave the basement. I cut out everyone. I didn't talk to anyone. All I did was read a stack of books every day, and I would use my imagination and brainwash myself into believing I was the person I needed to become. I also joined communities and talk to people that were ahead of me that could help me shift my identity. And that's what Hugo now had done by talking to me and getting involved in our community. And essentially, now he can now believe and now he can shift into this new 2.0 self because his outer environment, this is why in the Bible it says that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, right? Because when you're in the flesh and that faith without works is dead, right? And it says this as well, is that when you're living outside of yourself, right, and you're living and looking at the outer environment, if you walk in by sight, right, and you walk by faith, then you can see, and the faith is the imagination. It's the projection on the inside of your brain. And so for me, I would brainwash myself and sit in this image of myself every single day, projecting on the movie screen of my mind exactly what I wanted. But if you let the inner world in, meaning the sight in this physical world, everything that you want and everything that you are becoming is going to try and show you you're the opposite. Okay, so you need to remove everything in this outer environment, and you can't feed the mind with anything. You can only project, and you can only see from the faith, which is within, which is the light and the portal and the imagination within you, not by sight of the outer world. Because your sight, which is your physical eye, is going to see and trying to look at your situation, and it's going to then come up with reasons as to why you are not that. But if you remove all of that and you walk by faith, you're going to be able to see in the image and into the figment of your imagination and dream up everything that you want to become, and you will start to become that. So your environment is extremely important. What I used to do is, it's kind of extreme, but I used to basically remove all things that would essentially remind me of my lower self. Even when I started to become a man, things that I had when I was in my teenagers, in my childhood, sounds pretty messed up, but I would burn them, and I would do and I would remove them, and I would symbolically light shit on fire that would remind me of my old self, of this old child that was incapable, and sounds pretty crazy, and maybe it really was, but it solidified in my mind, and then I hid or removed anything that was reminding me of my old self. So if there was old pictures or old trophies of me as a kid, I had to remove that because it reminded me of my old self, right? And so I had to hide it and put it in a closet, or remove it or put it in the basement, whatever. And so I didn't remind myself, and I can curate this environment. I started putting pictures on the wall of who I wanted to become, where I wanted to live, how I wanted to drive. I had vision boards of me seeing myself. So everywhere on my phone, I would have it everywhere, and I would bathe in my vision every single day. This is the key. You want to bathe in the vision. And so your inner environment, which is within you, and Jesus said the kingdom of God is within you. And so when you go into the kingdom, which is in the mind, in the figment above the realm of thought, into your imagination, you're able to then tap into your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind, which is 90% of your brain, because your conscious mind is only 10%, 90% of your brain is the unconscious, the subconscious mind, and you can plant new beliefs and system and everything within that, and use your imagination to do it. So that's massively important, right? You want to walk by faith, not by sight. And then the last piece is act as if. Now, this is extremely important because you have to be, do, have. I know this is a very simple concept that has been curated across millennia, but you need to be before you can do, and you can only do to the extent to which you are, and what you are depends on who you think and believe you to be. And if you can act in accordance to who you are, and you do the things in which this person does, you will have this person because they are it. Simple equation. Mic drop, I could probably end the video right now, right? But this is how you identity shift. It's being them now. Now, if you define the current character and you define who you want to be and use your imagination, you define and curate your optimal habitat and use your imagination for the inner environment, the inner kingdom within you, and not walking by sight of your external, and then you act in accordance to these new beliefs of being that person, doing what they need to do to have what they want, you will automatically make more money. It's as simple as that. Because now Hugo, a guy like Hugo, now believes he can do it because boom, that's confirmation. That's now he has the positive feedback loop. Now he's going in this upward spiral. Now he's acting in accordance of who he's becoming. He's like, oh, now that is a positive feedback, right? That feeds back into your subconscious from the inputs and now the outputs, the results, and you have positive, negative feedback. Well, you can rise into this positive spiral, which is a self-fulfilling prophecy, when you act now in accordance to that in which who you are. And now it's confirmation in his mind, and it will happen to you in your mind as well, when now it's like, oh, maybe I can make $6,000 a month. Maybe I can make $10,000 a month. Maybe I can make $50,000 a month. Maybe I can make $100,000, $1 million a month, $10 million. Maybe I can, sell a company for $360 million. You see how this works? You build it by the habitual feedback and moving in accordance to who you are and acting and being that person now. Okay, very, very important. And then you need to do the things in which that person does. If you are a millionaire, do you think millionaires show up every day? Do you think they wake up early? Do you think they do revenue generative? Do you think they are great leaders? Do you think they curate their mind? Of course. So if you want to be that, then you have to be it now. And then you need to do the things in which you are, in which you believe you are, to have the things and the reality in which you want. Okay? This is how it works, and you need to do this every day habitually. And I recommend that every single one of you watching this, that you go into meditation and use active imagination. Carl Jung, one of the greatest psychoanalysts on the face of the planet, and his work I've studied and everything, and he talks about that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Okay, we have control over that through impressing upon the subconscious or the unconscious mind, and we do that through active imagination, and we do that through meditation. Carl Jung talked about this, meditation, where you can dwell and you can go into the subconscious mind, which operates 90% of your brain. Okay, and when you connect in meditation, you're able to connect also to God, to the divine creator, and you're able to create off of this imagination. You're going to impress upon that, and all these limiting beliefs will come to the surface, and you got to work through those to then remove them and act in accordance and belief with your new self. This is identity shifting, and when you do that, money will effortlessly come to you. It will flow to you in abundance. And you'll be like, where was all this money hiding all this time? And you're going to be like, it was already within me, and I just had to pull it out and tap into the kingdom of God within me. So that's how you identity shift. That's how you change your life. And if you want some practical resources on how to do this, I have a free community, which you can go here, which I actually go into more detail of, like, transcending yourself, giving you think, be, do, have, right? And showing you how you can basically transcend oneself, rewriting your own history, how your brain and psychology works. So if you want that, as well as other stuff on how to grow a business and how to make more money, that's all in my free community, which you can go below this video and join. And if you want to work with me further, you can also book a call like Hugo did. He didn't even pay me money. He's already making more money. So I actually provide a lot of value, and I help people in those calls. So if you want that, go below this video, either join the community or let's have a chat. And I look forward to helping you shift your identity, make more money, and become the man or woman that you want to become and transcend oneself. So that's it for this video. Go like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless.